Well, okay, I don't normally make these types of videos, but I figured this is as good a thing as any to make one on. So yeah. Apparently, as you can see from the title of this video, there are changes coming to the YouTube Partner Program. Specifically, it seems like some of the bigger things is just the eligibility requirements are being raised significantly from where they were previously. So I'll just read an excerpt from the YouTube creator blog talking about it. So right here we've got... So back in April of 2017, we set a YPP, or YouTube Partner Program, eligibility requirement of 10,000 lifetime views. While that threshold provided more information to determine whether our channel followed our community guidelines and policies, it's been clear over the last few months that we need a higher standard. Starting today, we're changing the eligibility requirement for monetization to 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. We've arrived at these new thresholds after thorough analysis and conversations with creators like you. They will allow us to significantly improve our ability to identify creators who contribute positively to the community and help drive more ad revenue to them, and away from bad actors. These higher standards will also help us prevent potentially inappropriate videos from monetizing, which could hurt revenue for everyone. It's apparently going to be going into effect on February 20th this year, and it will, as far as I'm aware, there's not going to be really any grandfathering in of channels that already meet the lower requirements. All channels, if you don't meet the new requirements, from what I understand, are going to be hit by this. Later on in the post, they do point out that 99% of channels affected were making less than $100 per year, and 90% earning less than $250 a month. And yeah, so that's just like it. Anything else I want to quote directly? Not really, no. And so, yeah. Alright, so first of all, when I did a quick little, YouTube search, I did see some videos that were just kind of like, is this the end of YouTube? And no, it's not. First of all, let's just be honest here. YouTube is, of course, in this day and age, primarily dominated by massive channels. Your PewDiePies or Pauls or whatever. I don't know much about the Pauls, but I do know they're a thing. And this really doesn't touch them in any negative way at all. So, YouTube will be fine. YouTube isn't going to die from this. Now, of course, this hits small creators the most. And of course, I am, in that basket here, running a channel with about 450 subscribers. And yeah, it's... When I first saw this on my, when I was just looking at some videos of mine, changing some thumbnails around, my first reaction was, man, that is quite annoying and quite unfortunate. But ultimately, is this really that big of a deal? In the end, I've ultimately decided, or come to the conclusion, that I think this may actually overall be positive for YouTube as a whole, even if it is kind of annoying for smaller creators. Now, I'm currently at the point where I'm about halfway to both the subscriber requirement and the watch hours requirement. And so, obviously, this seems to be been done in some part due to the adpocalypse of adpocalypses, I think there were multiple, of last year. Which is understandable. Obviously, if the pool of people making videos that advertisers can advertise on is smaller, then there's less risk of a video being inappropriate and objectionable to the advertisers. Fair enough. Of course, ultimately, a video from a channel like mine, a channel the size of mine, ultimately isn't going to be the type of thing that ever triggers an adpocalypse, though. It's probably more so the big channels you've got to worry about, because, if PewDiePie for example, puts up some video that's completely objectionable to advertisers, that's going to probably have a much bigger impact on the service as a whole and the image of YouTube than if hundreds of channels my size put up inappropriate videos with objectionable content. But this does have some upsides here. For one, theoretically, because now the advertising pool, because obviously not every view on YouTube is monetized, and so now the monetized pool is going to focus on a smaller subset of channels, which means that the channels that do meet this requirement should theoretically be seeing more ad revenue than they were previously, even with the same amount of views, because more of those ads will be focused on a smaller set of videos, which will be good for them. It'll probably make it at least somewhat easier for people to earn a living, or even just a quick buck, or not quick buck, but whatever, some extra cash off of YouTube, which is good for them, and to be perfectly honest, while I was mildly disappointed by this, for me personally, ultimately it doesn't really affect me that much. I mean, their statistic is probably accurate. In my personal life, it's accurate. Generally, I'll make a couple bucks on YouTube a month, so this really doesn't affect me at all. I mean, it does affect me. I'm not going to be getting any of that money now, which is a shame. But ultimately, I wasn't making enough money off of YouTube for it to matter at all. Yeah, I mean, maybe off of YouTube money I could afford to, like, go to a restaurant once a year or something. Yeah, so that's where this stands. Ultimately, potentially it'll help cut out the wheat from the chaff, is that a phrase? I think it is. And that should be good. I mean, ultimately thinning out the number of people in the advertising area should hopefully make the people who are there be able to be more successful there, which is ultimately probably a good thing for YouTube overall, because it's affecting the super small channels like me negatively, but negligibly so in most cases. Again, I mean, 100 extra bucks a year probably isn't rocking anyone's world all too much. But theoretically, the kind of tier above me, like 1,000 subscribers to, like in the tens of thousands of subscribers types of channels, should theoretically benefit from this, because now they should be technically probably getting more advertisements on their videos, so they can make more money than they were before. And ultimately, that's probably a good change for the platform overall. Focusing that pool of money on a smaller base of people should help those people be more successful, and even so, again, the couple bucks I was making on a month on YouTube wasn't really affecting me that much anyway, so I'm not too upset by the loss of it. And what it does mean is, should I actually make it to the 1,000 subscriber milestone with the 4,000 hours of footage watched every year, then that reward will be even greater than it has been in the past. And yeah, so I think that a lot of people are going to want to jump all over this as, oh, it's terrible, it's the worst thing ever, why would YouTube do something, they're killing off the small channels. But again, the truly small channels, the ones that this was affecting, weren't making a living or even close to it off of YouTube. Probably getting a bit of extra pocket change, you know? And yeah, probably you could reinvest that money, get a mildly better microphone or whatever. But I honestly don't see most small channels quitting because now they're not getting a couple bucks a month. So there we go. Mildly annoying for small channels, probably overall a good thing for the mid-sized channels, and probably good for YouTube as a whole, because this should theoretically help them avoid to some extent the advertiser controversies. Like I said, personally I think out-of-control big channels are probably more to blame for that sort of stuff than a bunch of small channels, but hey, I don't have the numbers on that, so I can't really speak with any authority there. So yeah. That's this video. I don't normally make videos like this. Normally I make kind of Let's Play videos, occasionally a top 10 video, if I feel like it and the stars align properly. But, hey, if you want to help me get to that 1,000 subscriber milestone and stay monetized. There's a subscription button somewhere around here. Who knows? Maybe your interests overlap with what my channel is actually about most of the time anyways. But I hope to see you in other videos if you're interested. If not, it's been good talking to you here. Hope we can have a nice discussion in the comments about any potential facets of this I didn't cover, or debates on the ones that I did. But until next time, I have been CMeeCraft, and I will catch you in, not likely one of these again. Maybe, it's possible. But Let's Play videos are there if you want them, so goodbye.